Hi, let's see how you can save some money on right-sizing, and this time with CloudWatch storage classes, but not only. Let's go inside. So one way to save money in CloudWatch log groups is to set retention policies. So by default, logs never expire. So you can change retention to 1 day, 1 week, or even 30 days to avoid long-term storage fees for all logs. Then you can also use infrequent access log class. So use this class for log groups that are rarely viewed, and it will provide you a 50% lower ingestion price compared to standard. Next, you can also implement metric filters. So instead of logs, extract specific metrics from logs and use those for alarms to avoid large-scale ingestion. And you can also audit vended logs, so optimize or disable VPC flow logs, Lambda logs, or Route 53 logs if they are not necessary for security compliance. Let's see now the pricing of CloudWatch data ingestion. So you can see here that infrequent access data ingestion can save you up to 50%. So here for your first 10 terabytes per month, you can see it's 50 cents here per gigabyte for log standards and half the price here for infrequent access. But the problem here is that once a log is created, you cannot change its existing class from standard to IA or vice versa. So make sure to only use the IA log class for workload that doesn't require advanced feature provided by the standard log class. So when to use IA class for log groups, this is a few examples. First one will be for workloads that don't require standard log class advanced features, such as embed metric format, lifetail, logs anomaly detection, and also pattern analysis. But you can also use infrequent access for debugs logs or web server logs, as they are quite verbose and rarely require any of the advanced functionality. You can also use infrequent access for Internet of Things or IoT devices that will send detailed logs that are typically only accessed for after-the-fact forensic analysis. Setting a retention policy is quite easy in the AWS console, so simply go to the CloudWatch service and then select Log Groups section. Click on the Settings icon and add the Stored Byte column. Then you can filter log groups by stored bytes to identify the high-cost log groups. And then ensure logs are not necessary before deletion. And then if you want to modify it, select the log groups, click Action, and then Edit Retention Settings. And here you can choose a new retention period and click on Save. Or you can use infrequent access log class, so you have to create a new log group. So in the CloudWatch console, select log groups, create log group, and under log class, select here infrequent access. And you can also select here retention setting if you want. And then you can migrate data, so you can export the old logs to S3 to delete the original standard log group. And you also need to update the configuration, so update your AWS services, let's say for example EKS or Lambda, to use a new log group name. So now how can you find all CloudWatch log groups without any retention policy? So the pain point here is that retention period is not available in either the cur or focus file. So one way to do it is to use a Lambda with a cross-account role that will first query the cost explorer in the root account to get a mapping of each account and region having spent in CloudWatch log groups. And secondly, pull the existing retention period in each individual AWS accounts from CloudWatch service using this mapping. Then you can also map again the retention period with a classic cur or focus CloudWatch query. Let's see now how you can reduce the logs quantity with CloudWatch log pattern analysis. So you can use either anomaly detection or pattern analysis to identify unusual events and uncover trends and patterns across your logs. So let's say, for example, unhelpful logs, so any error logs, such as say error, without any context or actionable insights, you can remove them. Also unnecessary logs. So in figure below here, you can see that pattern 1 and 2 here reflects the same set of data. So this one is the same of here. And so the first one is just a print statement, and the second one is an info logged statement. And also for debug statements, so you can see that pattern 3 shows a debug statement, and debug statement in a steady state application could be producing more logs than needed. So just check with your developers if debug statements in productions logs are adding value to their real-time investigations. So you can see that you can optimize CloudWatch log groups in many ways. So for example, you can use the infrequent access log class to save up to 50%. You can set up retention policies for all log groups. You can also filter log levels. So in production, change logging levels from debug to warn or error to eliminate the high volume and the low value logs. You can also implement metrics filters or also audit vended logs.